Welcome to the wonderful world of drawing. I'm your host, Jeremy Stoltz. We are on Season 2, Episode 296, working our way towards the tail end of this Inktober challenge here in October. We are on day 23, and the topic today is Link. All right. I am completely unprepared. I do not even have my paper ready. So, it is time to get out another sheet of paper, cut it up so we can use it. The second card, when I do it, hangs over just a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that because it gets me two cards out of this one sheet. Just got done eating, so of course I am draining on my throat. Draining. I was up really early / late last night. I was on Chris Wiegand's broadcast last night watching his movies, and it was a pretty late morning. I think it got over right around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Today is day 23, Luke, for Inktober, and the topic is leak. So I was trying to figure out how to fit that in with a horror theme. Yeah, it was quite early. I think it started a little after midnight or right around midnight and went about 4.5 hours. Yeah, so I'm not going to be doing the edible leeks. You just had soup with them in it. Nice. Okay. But it is that time, once again, to take all the things for all the other things. I just ate before I got on so that I could actually do this. Because, you don't really want to take this kind of stuff without having something on your stomach. Yes, it is pillow clock, and there's the important one right there. The rest of them I could go without, but that's the one I gotta take. All right. Now let's do that sketchy thing that we're all here for. I'm going from a scene from a very recent film. Yeah, the brown and white one, or excuse me, it says white and gold one. That is for heartburn. Then the green and peach one is for being able to go to the bathroom better. It's a Flomax. And then, of course, the little itty bitty pink one is the Licinipro. Man, it feels like I've got something stuck towards the back of yeah. You can do double duty as a flow. I really wish it does not work that effectively with me. Your coffee is ready. What kind of coffee do you have? Just straight up black, or do you have flavored or whatnot? Melita brand, regular roast with skim milk. Ooh, nice. That sounds good. Hello, Travis. Yes, this is Michael Meters. But I know what you meant. I did like it. I think it's a really good middle film, and I can't wait to see how they're going to wrap it all up in the end. Yes, I agree. All right. All right, this is going to be a lot of ink again. So, let's get to this. I just don't like that part of the hair. Recently started drawing again, bought sketch pads, markers, and pencils. Nice. Have you started doing any broadcasting with it, or are you just posting the stuff when you're done? Just practicing before you start broadcasting. Well, if you're ever in the mood and you want to practice along someone, you can always jump up and practice on my show here with me, so you don't feel so like everyone's paying strict attention to you. I know how daunting it is. I've been doing this now for about 4 years as far as live broadcasting. I've been doing it nonstop since October 2018, doing a different live broadcast every single day. And even today, like every single time I get ready to hit that go live button, it is still just like a gut check, like, ooh. Yeah, I mean that's my normal forte, but obviously we got an apocalypse there. Millennium Falcon blasting away from the second Death Star. For drawing and doing stuff like this, I suggest alcohol markers, which are your not necessarily this brand. I mean, you can find the brands that work for you and cheaper, but the alcohol markers blend very well together, and they don't make a mess. They usually come with two different ends. You've got your tip marker like that, or sometimes it comes in like a brush, and then you've got your chisel end at that end for larger areas. But I've got probably 6, 7 different types of brands that I've got, so it's not like I'm all stuck on just one brand. I'm pretty much for whatever is cheaper. There's a turtle. L3 from the Solo movie. I'm Marvin the Martian. There's a Unicron from Transformers. E.T. and I've never really bought a full set of anything, and it really depends. Like you can go top line and you can get like Copic markers, which are where's my Copics? Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Here we are. All right. So you got your top line Copic markers, which these ones right here usually start at about $9 a marker. Now there's a reason for that. I'm gonna get these things out of the way. The $9 is because everything on this is replaceable. This nib can come out. You just pull it straight out, and you can replace that with a brand new one. So if this ever gets worn or broken down, you can replace that. You can replace that one there completely as well. And then on top of that, you've got where are they at? I don't think I put them back up here. Anywho, you can buy larger packs of refill ink. So this has a very specific number to it, which is YR23. So you can order a YR23, and it comes in a container, yay big and whatnot, that'll refill one of these probably about 13, 14 times. And the refill is usually the cost of maybe one of these. So you could sit there and buy all the refills and keep refilling these. Now, like I said, that is your top of the line. That is from Japan. You've got your Copic markers. And even they have a cheaper brand, which is the Chow set, which they're a little bit smaller, but it still has the same numbers and the same refillability. You can still replace all of these, whatnot. But you can get a set like this is probably about $20, maybe even a little bit more, like 24, to get these. So like I said, there's your top line. You can get stuff from Blick, like you said, which is the same exact thing. Now their numbers are going to be a little bit different. These are not going to, coincide with these because they're using their own. But these work just as well as Copics. So the Blick Studio brand is definitely a way to go. It's a lot cheaper. There is a company out there called Artist Loft, which you can see in a lot of Michaels and stuff like that. These are not too bad. These are roughly the same type of thing. Again, they have their own set of, codes, and I don't know that they have refills, but you could, match this up with, let's say, that color there and say, okay, I want to use that, and you could get the refill for this and put it into this pen. There is Fine Color. That's another set. There is a set that I went crazy on because I could buy a set of, I think, 6 or 8 of them at a time of different colors for about $8. So for the cost of one of these, I can get a set of these. And this is called Spectrum Noir. And I like those quite a bit. They come in, pretty big size, and they last quite a bit. Then I have the Winsor & Newton ones, and I got these because they were normally $4.99, and they were marking them out and getting rid of them, and I got them all for $1.24 a piece. So I bought a ton of these because they were in sale. The thing is with any of these markers, the first thing you want to do before you take something like this and start working on it with, you want to have a small scrap piece of the same type that you can take and you can test and see, because let's say you want to have just something inside of those spots right there. Okay? If you mark blindly without paying attention, see how it bleeds over? You want to test the bleed on any marker that you're going to use to see just how, tight, how much you gotta, push down. Like this right here, because it's a smaller spot, I'm just barely touching the surface to get the ink in there. And, I even still went over because I was doing it kind of fast, but, the bleed still bleeds through just a little bit as far as through the line of where I wanted it to go. So you always want to test any markers before you go and work on a set, to do something. Test out your bleeding on the same exact type of paper. Because if I were to test it on, a Post-it note, it's going to bleed different than it does on this type of, whatever type of paper every piece of paper is going to bleed a little bit differently. So always test your markers to get a feel of them. Now, after you've dealt with markers for a while, you'll just get a natural feel, and you'll know kind of how your markers work on just about every set. So it's not like you got to practice and test every single time you do it, but once you get familiar with it, it will come a little bit naturally. I've been working with markers for probably about 4 years now, and I'm getting comfortable with them. I've got to the point where I'm not it doesn't frustrate me to use them. Let me get you guys added in to the. Okay, so Travis, let me see. Have you? Nope. So your first time this month, so I'm going to add your name over here. Travis Coleman. and that's 50 cents. And we got a Hello Award, so thank you for the Got Talent, and thank you for the High Award. Julie. Julie has not dropped me, so I get to add Julie's name on here too. Julie. So far, my top people are Riley, which is Cajun Cajole, Dimmy, and Tim Conrad is my third place person right now. But everyone is still in the hunt for getting artwork this month. Oops. Woohoo. So let's get to some inking. Now, this month here, I decided to not use Micron pens or multi-liners because I've done these for years and whatnot, and I wanted to stretch my art limits. So I'm going with a quill pen or brush to do all of my work. And as you can see, I have my scrap piece right here so that I can make sure that it works right before I actually jump down and start working on the full piece. I have had to rush a lot of my Drawloweens, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Now this dip pen that I'm using with the quill has a draw on it. So when you're going across the page, it catches and drags. When I first started using one of these things years ago and it made me stop, I thought I was doing something wrong. That it was not, I wasn't doing it right because it was drawing across there. But I've since learned that that is because, you know, you're using metal on paper, regardless of whether there's ink in between to buff it going across like that, it still is metal on there. Yes, that's pretty cool. I've done anime here and there. I'm working currently on a set of My Hero Academia cards. This is going to be part of like a 49 character set that I'm doing for somebody. Then I'll probably on the back actually do a little design for each of the characters as well. Oh, you bought the Deku figure? Oh, nice. Get in there. Stay in. Ugh. Hate that this thing falls out. It's picking up the scratching. Cool. That is cool to know. now that's something I've never been interested in myself. I mean, I still need to learn kind of how to do it. I just have never put the time and energy into doing the nature and the architectural stuff. Closest I did to that was I did a house this year. I drew I froze up. Wow, there we go. The house in Psycho. There it goes. Now it's telling me my internet's bad. Okay. Whew. Internet's back again. But yeah. So I drew the house from Psycho this year for Inktober. You bike and hike a lot, so you see. Oh yeah. I mean, I see quite a bit all around town, but it's the same view every single day. It's all farm fields. Now I'm not going to color this as far as with color. I will next month. So this whole area up here that I'm doing is all going to be oranges and reds. Obviously the flame back here will be, and then this will be bright orange-ish over here where the fire is kind of illuminating. Side of his face will be a little bit, but yeah, most of this is going to be all just dark. Now to do my best straight line. All right. So I think I can throw. Oh no, I got the lines on his face down here. Now I got to get my brush out and do some of the larger areas. But that's my first year for using this technique, and I'm still learning how to do different things with this. But it's all practice. You went into all forms of ink. Yep. Well, and like I said, in past years, I have gone just using multi-liners and going from there. So I just wanted to kind of branch out and test myself a little bit. Yep, and I have been doing a daily drawing every single day for a little over 2,800 days right now. Every single day since January 1st, 2014. Really? Yeah. That's pretty cool, Julie. It's a technique that I've never used, and it's something I wanted to kind of teach myself a little bit. I will take a day off as soon as I start designing or start producing my own comic book. That is my break for myself. When I start working on my professional book, where I can't really show everything that I'm doing because, you kind of want to sell that book, then I will take the time off. But until then, every day, whether you have rain, sunshine, surgeries, COVID, doesn't matter. You draw. Day. Because I took a day off back in early 2000s and didn't draw for nearly 8 years. So I'm not bound to repeat that mistake again anytime soon. Because procrastination comes way too easily to this guy. And if I don't stay on top of it, a day becomes a week, and a week becomes a month, and a month becomes guess who doesn't draw anymore? Where's my brush? There it is. For larger areas, I've got a bigger brush. Problem is this really soaks the paper. Now the big surprise is when I get finished with this, if my wife lets me actually make it available for purchase. Because she is a Halloween fan big time. Now, if you're still here, Travis, I would not recommend doing this with normal paper. Even artist paper is going to boil up pretty good with putting this much liquid down on it. This paper I'm using is actually watercolor paper, so it's actually meant to retain this amount of liquid. This is 140-pound paper. Yeah, my wife is a horror fan, a football fanatic. Oops, and I hit the camera. And she likes her true crime stuff. Okay, I gotta turn this around so I can get a better angle at this. Okay, now I've got to let that dry. That turned out pretty freaking good. I'm happy with this. Oops. Okay, I'm not going to need any more ink, so I can put that ink back in the bottle. And last but not least, and there's still a lot of wetness up here. I gotta see if I can shake this and dry it. But I've got to make some rain marks on here. Here, there is so much wetness. And so that I can make this look like the topic, which today is leak. All right, I think that's going to work. And that right there completes day 23 of Inktober. Until next month when I go to color this, like I said, we're going to have orange over here, fire up here, and then I'm going to throw some more shadowing in on his face that I don't really want to do a whole lot with ink because I don't want to muddy up the picture. And I think the picture stands pretty well on its own right here. More fire. Yeah, well, the picture I was borrowing from is when he's first stepping outside of the house in the new movie, and they have already contained some of the fire, and the water that's coming down is actually the water leaking off the house from the fire hoses. But I want to thank everyone that stopped by today. And I will see everyone tomorrow night when we do Extinct. What are we going to do for Extinct? I don't know, but I have 24 hours to think about it. Or 23, 22, something like that. I don't know. How long did this one take? A little over an hour. A little less than an hour, actually. Thank you, buddy. I'm glad to see you in here. It didn't feel like a proper show without my right-hand Canadian yesterday. Anywho, I will see everybody soon. Thank you guys all. I know, and that's perfectly all right. You are allowed to miss any day that you'd wish. I just like you to know that when you're not here, you are missed.